Hi, everybody. Week two of our circle project. Now, let's just do a very, very quick recap. We're talking about primary and secondary colors and how we can use them in an abstract kind of drawing. Remember, abstract art is art that isn't really meant to look exactly like one specific thing or another. And we're playing around with these different circle or size circles, to try and create an interesting looking picture that has a lot of flow and movement throughout. So as you look at this picture, my eyes, when I look at it, I start kind of up here, and then I follow these circles around. They go out this way, and then they kind of come back that way, and then they kind of drift back up here. When the whole project is done, it's going to look outstanding, and you're going to see a lot of movement with it. Now, some quick tips that I did uh, not show you last week, but I'm going to show you right now are it's very simple. I like to map everything out. If you are one of my Kings Road or Tory J kids, you know that I like to try and be as organized as possible. Okay, so we started doing these bigger areas last week, and then I started to think, let's kind of skip a step. So what you could see here is I started with this circle. I made this circle yellow. The main part of it is yellow. And then I made this part, I put a little red here. So red plus yellow makes orange. It's a simple note. Okay, all this is just like a quick little note to myself that this is going to be orange because this is red and this part is yellow. That way we don't have a mistake like this. I made a big mistake here. Am I going to be upset about it? Probably not. My mistake was I drew all this out, and then there was this big empty space, and I was like, I need some more circles up there. So I drew another circle, and this part that overlapped, I already colored in yellow. So my mistake was not thinking about the entire picture, and B, getting a little too antsy and coloring in everything. If we do a little spot like this, just a little line, just a little note, okay? So the big part of this circle is red. This one was yellow. Together they make orange. This big circle is blue. Blue plus red equals purple or violet. Now we just have this tiny little line that if we make a mistake, we could just erase that tiny little line. Mapping out your pictures, especially in a project like this, super, super helpful. So I'm going to go through and color in just a little bit, okay, because I don't want to waste too much time having you watch me color. Okay, I'm using coloring pencils. Remember, you're using whatever you have at home. In my first grade project that we were finishing up, we were using markers because I found some lovely Crayola markers to use. For you guys, I'm using these coloring pencils. That's what we found last week. If you have crayons, okay, you can use crayons. Those work well. Okay, crayons come out with bright, vivid colors. I'm going to stick away from using crayons, not because I don't like them, but the wax that's actually in the crayon, it's super shiny. So if I have a project like this I'm trying to film for you, it's kind of hard to see, or it makes it look like I have a lot of ghost holes or white spots. Ghost holes are those little white areas that you don't color in because we're going really fast. We're trying to get the project done. We want to eliminate the ghost holes. Okay, so I'm going to skip over here and do this purple area. See, now that we've mapped everything out, it's kind of easier to go through. We did all the thinking just by putting that little line going through, okay? And something that you should take note, this is what I always do when I'm coloring in a picture like this, I give myself a border. See how I'm doing this? I'm going through on this edge. This is the edge of the paper. That's nothing, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm going through, I'm giving myself a border. That way, I made a mistake with that circle, but that's okay. Giving myself a border. That way, when I go through to color, I can color in a little bit differently. I don't have to be as careful. I'm still being careful, but I I don't have to be as careful if I didn't have that border. So I'm going through just like that, okay? Now, if we color in the whole picture, that's great. Our background, okay? We have positive and negative space in this picture. So let's give a very brief overview. We're going to talk about positive and negative space in a different project, but we have it here too. Our positive space is different than our negative space. Positive space in this particular picture are the circles. So this is all positive space. The negative space is the background. It's the area that's around it. So let's show you a positive, negative space in a different way. Here's my hand. My hand in this picture is the positive space. The white piece of paper around my hand is the negative space. Okay? There's a big difference. So we have a couple of options of how we could finish up this picture when you're all done coloring in our circles. Option 1, we pick one color and we color in the negative space with that one color. I might bring out that black Sharpie that we used to color that in. Option 2, if you have confidence cutting out all these circles or cutting out along the lines, we can cut this out and then glue it onto a new piece of paper. Okay, so I'll give you those two options of how you want to finish this up. I'm going to make a couple other short videos just to show you the difference of how that looks. Okay, so please look at the videos below before you make a decision of how you want to finish up your project. I also posted a video last week on September 16th about how to take a picture using your Chromebook's camera and uploading it to that Google form. If you still can't figure out how to do it, that's perfectly fine. You could take a picture, fill out the form, and don't upload it to it. And then you could just send me that picture in an email. If that's easier, that's perfectly fine. But we must make sure that we're filling out those Google forms. That's how we're tracking attendance. Okay? Stay tuned. I'm going to take a couple more videos of how to finish this up.